This is a good song. All right, I'll play this while we do our lesson real quick. All right, so we had our quiz today. I was very pleased with most people's scores. Uh, just about everybody improved. I don't want to say everybody because there are still some of you that I know are not watching the videos and not doing what you need to be doing to get these good grades. So like if you're one of these people, and like you know what, if you're one of these people, I'm probably not even talking to you right now because you're not going to be watching this. But don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of it this weekend. I'm going to go through, check all the do nows, and see who has been watching and who has not. We'll make myself a list, and I'm going to check it twice. Santa Claus is coming early. Okay. So for climate, because that's what we're going to be talking about coming up here. We're almost done with our first unit. We've only got a couple more pages of this, and then we're going to be going into climate change unit 2. So next week might actually be our unit 1 test. I will update you on that when I find out more. I have to talk with Miss Morose. But climate is the average weather conditions of an area over a long period of time. We learned about weather being the conditions of the atmosphere at that moment. So like if I go outside right now and it's cold and breezy and sunny, the climate of Michigan is not cold and breezy and sunny. It's not like that all the time. Our climate is constantly changing with the seasons. So the climate is the average weather condition of an area over a long period of time. Maybe that's a month, maybe that's 2 months. I don't know what they classify as a long period of time, but let's say it's 2 months. Okay, so between like the beginning of October and the end of like close to the end of November, our climate is going to be a much cooler, breezier, slightly wetter climate than it was 2 months prior. Okay, so like September and August, it's much hotter than it is the following 2 months, right? Like September and August are hot, humid, very, very mosquito-y months, I feel like. But then as soon as October and November roll around, it's cold. Okay, it is like it's 60 or less, and it's much cooler, much breezier. It rains more. And so that's what they mean when they're talking about climate. It's not just like, oh, yeah, maybe one day in October it was 75 and sunny. Like, wow, that doesn't mean October is a month where it's normally warm. That's an unusual day in October here. Okay, so the climate is the average. So you would take all the days, check their temperatures and how much precipitation you would like look through, and then you would figure out on average it's probably going to be cold and kind of rainy in October. That's what climate is. It's not like weather is one day, climate is many days. And so yeah, it's right here. It says when you are describing climate, you mention temperature and moisture, as I just did. I didn't even read that yet. And I accidentally described climate using temperature and moisture. You can't really describe climate without temperature and moisture. So we're going to be talking about climate more frequently next week. There are several things, 5 factors that affect a climate. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this. Boom. So latitude. You guys all should know what lines of latitude are. It's those little lines on the Earth or on the globe. The equator is a line of latitude, and the further up you go, the weather and climate changes. So the more further north or south of the equator you go, the colder it gets. The equator is the warmest part of the Earth all the time. It's constantly in direct sunlight. And the further north or south you go, the cooler it gets. Okay. Hey, big dog, nobody asked for your opinion. You stay over there. Elevation. The higher up you are above sea level, the colder it is. So like down here at the bottom of the mountain, it's much warmer than is if you are up high. If you are at a very high elevation, that's why like mountains have snow at the top. The air up there is very cold. We learned about that when we were talking about the layers of the atmosphere. The upper troposphere where we are is very cold. That's why when moist air rises, it cools down and turns into clouds. The temperature is much colder up there. Water, okay? Water is a very, very good insulator. That people have been using water as an insulator for hundreds of years, okay? Water holds heat for a long time, so it helps keep temperatures stable. That's why Michigan doesn't usually get up to like over 100 degrees. We have so much moisture in our air, it keeps the air cooler than say somewhere out in like Arizona where there's like no moisture. So the air gets up to like 115 on the regular in the summer. Okay, so water holds heat to help keep temperatures stable. It increases the humidity in the summer and the amount of snow in the winter. That's why it's so humid here in Michigan. Okay, we have a lot of moisture in the air, so it's a very humid area in the summer, and that's why we get so much snow in the wintertime. If you live near mountains, that can affect your climate. It affects how rain works because mountains are tall, and it can affect how much rain you get. You have this thing called the rain shadow effect, where if you are living in between the ocean and the mountains, you're getting like all of the rain. Okay, whatever is on the other side of the mountain, the clouds have already basically rained out all their rain before the clouds even get to the other side of the mountain, which means that far side is going to be very, very dry, very desert-like. You can see this if you look at the Rocky Mountains on the west coast of the United States. And then cities. Cities are the fifth factor that can cause your climate to change, or that can affect your climate, not cause it to change. Because buildings and roads absorb heat. Like buildings and roads are made of cement, asphalt, concrete. They absorb heat because they're basically made of rocks. Hey, big dog, nobody asked. See you later. So cities are much warmer than it is like out in the suburbs. Like where I'm at, there's a lot more trees and green stuff. And trees and grass and plants they suck up the energy from the sun and they kind of disperse it better, and they don't hold it. They don't get hot. Like you've never gone out and like touched a leaf on a plant in the summer and been like, oh, wow, it's really hot. Like it just doesn't happen. They don't absorb, like they get rid of a bunch of their heat. They don't absorb it all and hold on to it like cement does. Okay. Whereas like you could go outside in the city in the summertime barefoot, you could burn your feet if you are walking on blacktop. So cities absorb heat and they stay warm. And those are the 5 things that affect your climate. Okay, so we're going to talk more about this stuff next week. But the passcode, or the code phrase for today, you're going to put in your do now for Monday for next week. Okay, so this is going to be a little tough because you're going to have to like remember to go back on Monday and put it in there, because I'm not going to have the do now up yet until Monday. So you're going to have to remember, like write the code down somewhere, or you're going to have to watch this video again on Monday, like Monday morning or something, and put it in your do now at that point. And so I think I'm going to make the code phrase, oh well, what do I want it to be? The code phrase is, my homeroom totally loves yoga. That's going to be the code. My homeroom loves yoga. Loves yoga. My homeroom loves yoga. Okay, so you're going to put my homeroom, like my home, so Mr. Creekmore's, Mr.'s homeroom loves yoga. Okay, so Monday morning, make sure you put that in your do now. Okay, because I'm going to go through this Sunday and I'm going to be checking the do nows. And if I'm going to make a list of people that have not been doing the code things, and I'm going to call them out on Monday. Okay, so make sure you're getting these codes. Code phrase is Mr. Creekmore's homeroom loves yoga. All right, slap like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you Monday.